Everyday Superpower, where we learn body language, non-verbal communication, relationships game, human dynamics and everything in between. Today I'm coming with a message which, I see the world through your eyes. I'm only a simple man myself, so this is an important one to make. Learn to identify whether she's being nice to you or being flirtatious, okay? So, a lot of women out there just learn to smile, to disarm what could be a potential threat. Smiling is a submissive gesture, okay? Which isn't to say you shouldn't smile because it's submissive, but it is what it is. You'll find that in chimpanzees, they will smile, not bare teeth, because there's two separate means of doing so. They will quite literally smile as a submissive gesture to disarm the alphas of the group. You'll find in workplaces and you'll find in particular hierarchies, those whom are subordinate will smile more often than the boss, or will smile in the boss's presence, and everything in between. It may be alike when it comes to sexual relations. You will find that the woman smiles more so than the man. So, with that being said, yes, I guess in a way she is smiling at you in a submissive means, which isn't a bad thing. That's probably better than her not doing so. But you have to also understand that she's been socially conditioned, arguably biologically conditioned to do so, to ensure that she appeases you as a strong and potentially dangerous man. And we can't take that at face value, okay? We can't take that for granted. We can't take that as her being actually attracted or interested in us. A lot of men will fall for that and will take it too seriously, but that's not the case. Proxemics, have a look at how close she is to you, okay? Is she standing so close she is within your intimate, if not personal space? If so, she might be identifying where you both stand. She might be testing you to see if you feel uncomfortable and step outside of that space, or whether you embrace it and you exist within, possibly to the point of physical touch. I would say that was indicative of attraction. Quite literally, as attraction brings us in, whereas repulsion brings us out. Don't misunderstand or misread pacifying behaviours. So this is primarily, it's a channel we speak on game to whichever degree, but it's rooted in non-verbal communication, being able to read someone purely through observing their behaviours. So I assume at this point, if you've checked the catalogue of body language out, which is in my video description, it's my YouTube playlist of how to read people. If you've followed me and absorbed that information, you should be able to start to understand and observe pacifying behaviours. So self-soothing behaviours she subconsciously actions to fight off a stress response. And that stress response, that anxiety response, could stem from two completely separate ways. So you still have to decipher as to whether it is through attraction. You make her feel nervous, you make her feel anxious, she feels uncomfortable because she has to put her best foot forward, she is submissive in your presence, and that gives her little butterflies in her stomach. Or alternatively, she just wants to ensure that you've only just started talking, she might not know who you are, she's trying to work out who you are, she's uncomfortable because she's speaking to somebody new. These manifest a lot more so when you initially start talking, as opposed to when you start laying in bed next to each other, because then you know each other inside and out quite literally, and then these pacifying behaviours tend to diminish as far as how identifiable they are and how much they reoccur, because you're just within each other's spirit at that point. But you have to identify, are these pacifying behaviours just down to her being a little bit socially anxious, or is it indicative of her being nervous around you in a sexual manner. Because with normality comes boredom, but when it comes to a little sprinkle of anxiety, potential fear, not in a way that you're threatening her, but a potential little bit of fear and danger, and all of these things, they all amount to a very seductive communication. So you have to sort of break through and identify what you're seeing. Moving onwards, we've got closed body language versus open body language. Is she allowing you in? Is she absorbing you? Right? Now, I say that to say this because open body language could be symbolic of friendship as well, right? I'm so comfortable around you that I'm open to you and your ideas and your talk. But what is open? Is she exposing the skin? Is she ridding herself of garments, which is stripping essentially? Is she exposing the wrists, the neck in a submissive manner to you? So submissive behaviors in that realm, as well as the addition of the submission of the smile, we might start to be doing the math and working this out in the other direction. You see how this is all based on clusters? We speak on like particular behaviours here and there and isolate and concentrate on particular behaviours, but if we talk to somebody for 1 minute, the amount of non-verbal communication that has gone on through that 1 minute is just 50-fold the one behaviour we initially paid attention to, so have a look at the clusters and the context. Does she act in a particular way when you call her a particular name? When you say, you're looking quite good today, When you say this, that and the third. When you identify, oh, you got new earrings in today. Oh, wow, he noticed. Oh, wow, yeah. And then she uses that as a means of exposing her neck, as a way of exposing her wrist, as a way of running her hands through her hair as she shows you. Have you seen how this cluster of behaviour comes from the one? So through each and every single interaction, there will be a big picture that is painted that you can only really assess and acknowledge once you really dial in and know how to take in the big picture, once you learn and dial in all of these little micro gestures. So these are what you need to pay attention to. It's incredibly complex to break up the friend from the flirtation, because to be just friendly, we allow our egos as men to tell us that they're interested in us, because it would be hurtful to think the opposite. Oh, why isn't she interested in us? A lot of people don't want to know that. A lot of people aren't interested in being aware of that. But truth be told, it doesn't matter if you're the King of England. There's going to be so many people who just aren't interested in you for whichever reason, and that's completely fine. When you learn to realise that and understand that, it should actually reduce a lot of pressure from your day-to-day, because you're thinking, all right, she's not into me, but that's not for me to take to heart. I'm just not what she's looking for. Her head's elsewhere, and that's just the way it is. You could have game for days, but it doesn't matter if she's elsewhere. She's not parallel to where you are in your space. You don't have that connection. If you don't have the connection, it's not there. So that's a little bit of game. That's something to ponder on. I'm uploading each and every day, so click like and subscribe. And with that being said, I've got 2 links down in the description. One is that catalogue of body language. It's a YouTube playlist, over 220 videos of how to read people through their non-verbal behaviour. Second to that is the Patreon, where you'll join me in watching real life dates. I'll break down these videos as far as the attraction cues, the repulsion cues. It's a worldwide behaviour, this non-verbal game, so you'll see it wherever you live. You'll internalise it. That's the game nobody else sees. I'm signing out.